Tonight, we revisit one of the most talked about trials in modern true crime history, the double homicide of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh. But beneath the public outrage, Netflix documentaries, and headlines lies a question that never quite settled. Did the evidence truly prove Alex Murdaugh guilty beyond reasonable doubt? In this episode, we'll dissect the forensic contradictions, the impossible timelines, and the troubling gaps in the prosecution's case that continue to raise questions about what really happened. That June night, on June 7th, 2021, Alex Murdaugh called 911 at 10:06 p.m., reporting his wife Maggie and son Paul had been shot at the family's Moselle estate. The prosecution's theory placed the murders around 8:50 p.m., arguing Alex killed them before leaving to visit his mother. But let's look closer. Digital data from Alex's vehicle shows no erratic driving, no cleanup stops, and no evidence of concealment activity before or after the alleged murder window. The prosecution suggested the rifle that killed Maggie was linked to one owned by the Murdaugh. However, no murder weapons were ever recovered, and ballistics experts testified that shell casings only suggested a family-owned firearm might have been used, not that it definitively was. Moreover, Paul's wounds came from a shotgun using mixed ammunition types, making trajectory reconstruction nearly impossible. The bullets and shells could not be conclusively matched to any firearm in Alex's possession, leaving reasonable doubt about the case. In a family where multiple firearms circulated through generations of hunting trips and property use, association isn't evidence. Without a weapon, the forensic chain remains broken. The prosecution framed Alex's motive as financial, that he killed his wife and son to distract from his crumbling law firm and theft allegations. But this theory ignores context. Alex had ongoing plans with Maggie to visit a beach house the next day. Friends reported no signs of hostility between the couple, and perhaps most tellingly, Paul's friends testified that Paul and Alex had a strong relationship. One friend recalling that Paul loved his dad, and they laughed together all the time. A man facing exposure might panic, yes, but would he hear his own family on his own property in broad daylight hours before seeing his mother, with no escape plan and every digital trace pointing right back to him? Even veteran detectives found the motive theory emotionally powerful, but logically thin. To convict, the state had to prove guilt beyond reasonable doubt. But what remains are questions. No murder weapon. No blood evidence connecting Alex directly to the scene. Destroyed forensic shirt sample. Impossible timeline. Inconclusive ballistic and spatter analysis. When evidence bends to fit a theory instead of forming it, justice is compromised. Alex Murdaugh is not a saint. His admitted financial crimes tarnished his credibility, but criminal behavior in one arena does not automatically translate to homicide in another. Justice demands distinction between moral failing and physical guilt. Perhaps this case wasn't about what the state proved, but about what the public believe. 2 lives were lost and a family legacy destroyed. But amid the wreckage, one truth remains. Emotion is not evidence, and speculation is not proof. Was Alex Murdaugh the killer? Or the perfect scapegoat for a crumbling empire in a state desperate for closure? You decide. Thank you for tuning in to True Crime PhD. I'm Trinity Moses. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And as always, seek the facts, challenge the narrative, and never stop asking why.